to the Week 8 review of the Franchise League. First, the matchups, and let's talk about the biggest epic showdown, and boy, did it fail to deliver in the 14-1 drubbing of Bear Bashers over Globo Gym. I'll let you take over on this. Do you have any thoughts on that matchup?
Well, maybe you'll start listening to me when I talk about power rankings and how I wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid that you seem to be chugging in gallons at the beginning of the season.
Well, I didn't want to hold it against Globo Gym because he hadn't played anybody. That's not.
I didn't say hold it against him, but
right.
At the same time, you didn't give him any credit for the fact he hadn't played anybody.
That's true. It's true. So,
I mean, let's be honest. He had a bad week.
He did.
That didn't help.
He did.
You had a good week.
Right.
So you would have beat almost. You would have beat it.
I would have beat everybody.
Statistically. And you had only one or two actual close matchups, I believe you said, when you checked the stats.
No. I mean, it wasn't. Well, if you're talking about Globo Gym and me, we actually had some close categories.
Well, no, but I mean, when you took your stats compared to everybody else in the league.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it was only 8-7 over Team Joe Boo was the only closest one. Which is funny because even though Team Joe Blue actually lost his matchup. Isn't that weird how that works out?
Yes.
But yeah.
Like I said, I don't really have much to say. He's heard me say it. I never rank him that well, and
yeah,
now you get another one back to back, weeks.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna have to put up or shut up this week, isn't he?
Well, I'm troutless, but
no,
I don't make excuses. I don't make excuses. He beats me. He beats me.
Right. So the next matchup will actually go into you. Over Pine Tree Lane.
Yeah, I'm
9-5.
Struggling. Offensively, my pitching is so erratic. It was a 9-5 win. There were a lot of close categories. My studs carried me as they normally do, but it was a nail biter. I was very happy to get 9 points out of it.
I think the issue with Pine Tree Lane is that he's running Schwarber and McCutcheon out there every day. I mean, last week they both. I know I didn't want to get into stats because I know this bores some of the GMs.
Well, that's why we're not really giving stats. But we'll stop wasting time doing research since people don't want to hear it.
Yeah, but I mean, it was glaring. I didn't have to do the research. All I had to do was look. Both Schwarber and McCutcheon hit 0.77 for the week. That's not going to work because he actually hit 245 as a team.
Wow.
Do you see what I mean? You see how much they pulled down the other guys because he's got studs on the team, But
again, he's also suffering the injury bugs, and he's also one of those guys that has more pitchers than offensive players.
Yeah, that's true. So next matchup, Alaska Glaciers with the 10-6 mini upset over Team Joe Boo.
Why only a mini upset?
Well, I mean it's a 6 over a 3 right now. That means standings wise.
In your rankings?
No, in standings.
Standings.
In the standings. That's all I'm going by. Standings. Did you see anything glaring in that matchup that?
Well, I mean, again, as we've been saying, trying to stay consistent, Alaska Glaciers still needs to work on the offense, and 6 of their 10 points they got were pitching categories. So, that's good because he beat a team that doesn't have a good pitching staff, but that's where he got most of his points. But
I do believe Team Joe Boo was on vacation. Sort of.
Not making excuses,
but I can tell that he only had 72 innings. So in order for him to only have 72 innings, that means he wasn't churning as actively as he would have had he been in York County, where we live.
That is true.
So
interesting.
I think that's probably the biggest reason why it was a 10-6 win. I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but that's
a big win, though, for Alaska Glaciers. They needed that win.
Yes, that's true. That's definitely true. Now we have Ben's Champions with an 11-4 impressive win over Zips. I mean, you know how great Zips is. We hear on a text thread how amazing Zips is. What are your thoughts? No thoughts? You don't have anything on that?
I have no comment about Ben's Champions.
Well, Ben's Champions believes that Zips is a premier talented team in this league. And it's funny because I've actually tried to ask him 2 or 3 different times in our text thread. Why? does he like Zip's team so much? And he just says, I really like it. He doesn't really give a reason. He just says he's one player away. Well, I don't know. He hit 233 last week. Do you think that one player would have helped
He has
him?
no offense. Zip still has no offense.
I know.
I don't care that he has 6 guys that for the season are hitting 300. Every time he plays someone, his team batting average is like 220.
Yeah, it's everybody else. It's kind of, yeah. So, anyway.
Not very exciting matchup.
No, not really. So, then that gets us to this one, which is actually breaking news. Murderers Row in the win column with a 9-4 win
Congratulations.
over 5 swords.
Could this be the turning point for Murderers Row?
It could possibly be. It's interesting because Murderers Row only hit 238 for the week, but still ended up with the 9-4 win. So, just goes to show you that even if you do have a bad batting week, you can still win the matchup. It's not.
Did he win all the
about...
pitching categories?
Well, let's see. I'll tell you here in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4 pitching categories he won. So actually, that's kind of just
He split.
Yeah,
he split.
He split the pitching categories.
So does that mean that 5 swords team was just awful?
Yes, it was pretty bad. 243, 5 homers, 21 RBIs for the week.
Gosh, why can't I ever play people that do shit like that?
I don't know. Does crap like that. This is
Sorry.
a PG show.
Sorry,
Yeah.
my bad.
But yes, Murderers Row in the win column, which gets us to the next part of what we usually do here, the longest winning streak and longest losing streak.
Gee, I wonder who has the longest winning streak.
Well, let's talk about that second, because first we're going to talk about Murderers Row. Since they won, they no longer have the longest losing streak. So would you like to give a guess as to who has the longest losing streak currently in our league?
Who I think currently has it, or
Currently.
who I wish would currently have it?
You can do both if you'd like.
I don't want to do that.
Okay.
We already know who it is, and he knows who he is too. It's got to be a team that's in the bottom.
It is a team that's in the bottom.
So it's going to be someone like 5 swords.
5 swords is not on that list. It's not the leader. No?
The only other team that's towards the bottom would be Timbuktu.
Yes, that is correct. Timbuktu, also known as Pine Tree Lane, a 4-week losing streak now.
4.
4 in a row.
That would explain the drastic drop in the standings.
And I'm currently with an 8-week winning streak, I guess. 7 weeks, because we played 8. Yeah.
Hooray!
So 7-week winning streak for Bear Bashers.
Hooray!
Fireworks.
Hooray for
Okay.
you!
So that takes us into
I
the.
thought you were rebuilding.
Well, I was, but then everybody else sucks so bad. I was like, I might as well win this year. Why not?
Freebie.
Yeah. All right. Anyway.
Trades?
Yeah.
Trading.
Trades.
We had 2 trades.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start with the first one, which is Michael Waka
Yeah.
to Globo Gym
Yeah.
for a guy who's been on the DL all year, Steven Matz.
I mean, if you get Waka for a guy who's been on the DL all year, that's a win. Don't you think?
Yeah. I thought you were a big Steve Matz fan, though.
Well, I was until it seems that apparently you just can't get on the field. Like, it's that simple.
What good is talent if you never pitch?
I know.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's a great pickup for Globo.
Yeah.
Again, we've told him that he should have traded Baez for Waka, and
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
but he got Waka for Matz, and he still got to keep Baez.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one, which also caught heat
Heat.
in the text thread, is Ryan Healy, Manuel Mardigal,
Yes.
Coda Glover,
Yeah.
and no, that's it. Sorry, to Pine Tree Lane.
Yeah.
They got those 3 guys
Right.
for Joey Votto,
Right.
Marwin Gonzalez.
Yeah. Well, here's the way I look at this trade. I believe, and I've noticed the transactions that Pine Tree Lane has been making.
Mm-hmm.
He is in rebuild mode, whether he's saying it out loud or not. He's
Okay.
picking up young pitchers who have potential who aren't doing well right now. I think just Glasnow, Velasquez, even though he got hurt yesterday.
Yes.
So I think he probably thought now's the time to get rid of Otto. And that's
Well, what do you think of the package you got?
I like Margot in the future. I do. I don't think he's going to be great this year, but San Diego's following the same, what do you call it? The same formula that the Cubs did and the Astros did. They are rebuilding their system.
They are trying.
They're doing it that way. They're going to be good eventually. I don't know if they're going to be that good. I don't know if they're going to be as good as and have the success that the Cubs and Astros
I still think they need at least one or two more better prospects in their system.
Maybe
for that to happen.
Maybe, but they're on the right track.
I am obviously higher on Ryan Healy than most in the league.
I don't have any issues.
I mean, I know he didn't play an entire season last year. He put
Right.
up respectable numbers. A guy that I love to compare him to is Longoria type numbers. That's what I think he's going to be.
Do you think he'll hit that average?
If Oakland plays him.
Do you think he'll hit for that kind of average? Because, I mean, I know Longo's average has kind of been up and down different years. But there's a couple years he hit 300,
I think
right?
I don't ever think he'll do that. I think he's a solid 260, 270 hitter.
Yeah.
The problem is Oakland, for some reason, doesn't want to play him all the time, and it just doesn't make any sense. So I really liked Healy. I really liked Margot. I gave up the Nationals closer.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I think he got a great deal.
Well, as far as the A's not playing him all the time, it's all with Billy Beane, because what he's doing is that he's trying to get Trevor Plouffe's trade value up.
I
that he
understand.
can get it. And in order to do that, he's going to have to play him.
Right, but if he plays and sucks, that doesn't help his trade value.
Right, but I don't think he's going to suck completely. Like, he'll have some sort of value if he's out there.
So looking back now, would you like to retract any of your statements of it was a steal and it's not even close of a trade? Because those were your original statements in the group text that, I can't believe I got Votto for giving up garbage and blah, blah, blah.
I don't think I actually used any of those terms.
No.
I think other people said garbage. I never would have said garbage.
Okay.
No.
You also thought it was not a...
No, you win the trade. Yes, I'm saying you win the trade, but I understand why Pine Tree Lane did this trade, because I think he is in rebuild mode. Now, I think if I were him, I would have waited a little bit and tried to shop Votto a little bit just to see if I could have gotten more.
Well,
I mean, it's very similar to what I did last year. I said, okay, here's the deal. I'm selling. I sent out a message to the league and I said, send me offers. Best offers, get my dudes. And then basically everybody just traded me back those guys next year. That's what they all did. So
great strategy.
It worked out perfect for me. So I don't know what I mean,
obviously I was very happy I got a replacement for Freeman going down.
and now it's really big now that Trout's hurt too.
Now Trout's hurt.
You really
yes,
need an
that
extra
hurts.
bat.
And Martin Gonzalez, every position eligibility, which is something I really needed as well.
Yeah. No, I get it. I understand. And if I were Justin, I would try to get rid of Marwin because who knows if that's for real.
It was a free agent
know?
pickup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Free agent pickup.
So
Good trade.
okay, so I guess that's all with the trades. So now I guess we only have the hot topic to talk about.
Well, I thought we were going to do that separately since it's going to take so long.
Okay, so do you want to do power rankings first? What do you want to
Sure,
do?
let's do power rankings.
We'll do power rankings first so that everybody can look at the commission's big muscles for the power rankings right now, maybe. That's a
flexing my finger.
You're flexing your finger. Okay. Okay, now it's time for the power rankings. Number 6.
Only one change for me this week. Kind of letting the cat out of the bag, but
Yeah.
it wasn't that exciting. Zips, you're gone. Making an appearance, even though I don't really like this team,
You don't like it?
but they had an impressive win over Team Jobu.
In Minnesota. Alaska Glaciers, that is also my number 6 as well.
Copycat.
Yeah, you get a win over a Power 6 team. You have to kind of move them in. And my previous number 6 was
I won.
Zips. And I think, was that your previous number 6
Yes,
as well?
yes.
And, an 11-4 loss gets you out of the top 6. That's just how it works. So.
My question is, should we stop calling it the Power 6 when we're starting to have even more
Power 6, Power 6.
more separation
More separation.
from the top 4 and the rest of the bottom 6?
Well,
Can
actually,
you-
I think it's separation between the top 2 after.
Don't say that.
Well, I'm just
We
being
will
honest.
JO each other after the show, not during anymore, because that's also a comment that's...
Okay. It just happened to be that the first year we started doing this, both of our teams simultaneously went off. I don't think.
But you're rebuilding.
I can't help it. Everybody else is bad. It's not my fault.
Number 5.
Number
with
5.
A good win, an impressive win.
Yes.
Ben's champions
That's
over
my number
Zips.
5 too.
Apparently, he's just going to copy me.
Man.
He's now realized how bad his power rankings have been. So all he's going to do is copy me. Which, by the way, for people that complain about my power rankings, did you look at my power rankings and then look at the standings?
Did I?
Did you?
No.
Yeah. It's amazing how they turned out.
Oh.
Amazing.
Well, I can say though, I was close to moving up Ben's champions from 5 to 4. I was very close.
Really?
I was thinking about it.
You
I
were
was
thinking about
considering
dropping
it.
a team that bad.
I was thinking about it, but I thought about because of extenuating. Because of tough circumstances.
I'm not going to tell you what it is. I just want to hear you keep saying whatever it is you're trying
Because of circumstances beyond number 4's control, I didn't move him down, so.
I kept number 4 the same for me,
Oh,
despite the shellacking that he
Wow.
took. As I've said,
Whoa.
I've never been a big believer in this team. He is making adjustments that I think are going to be for the better. But right now, I still have the top 3 teams ahead of him. And surprise, as I said, even though he got mad, look what happens when you start playing teams that I have ranked higher than you.
Yeah, he did get mad about that. Well, my number 4 is different. My number 4 is Team Jobu, dropping 1 slot from 3 to 4. I considered dropping him all the way down to 5. I did not.
Wow.
I kept him at 4 because I know he was on vacation last week.
Why all the way to 5? That would mean you would have had to have moved Ben's champions up to 4.
Because, here's the thing. I know that he lost 10 to 6 because of not being able to churn. That was one of the biggest reasons. But this was also the first week. Remember, we always talk about the 300 batting average, the 300 batting average, 300 batting average. He doesn't hit 300, boom, he loses 10 to 6. And I don't think you can just assume that is there thunder outside? What is happening out there? I think it's a movie. I think it's a movie with like some scary music.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Something's going on. Either we're sitting in a tornado or the kids are rolling barrels up and down the steps.
Yeah.
Holy heck.
But anyway, I think that means that Team Jobu is too, he's too needy of a 300 batting average. He's too reliant on that.
Well, it's cold. It was still cold.
Yeah, well, that's true. So that's why I dropped him number 4. You're number 3.
I still kept him at number 3.
You kept him at number 3.
Despite the
Okay.
loss.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of a bad loss. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm kind of giving him a pass on the fact that he didn't do anything.
I gotcha. Yeah. My number 3 is now Globo Jim, dropping from my previous number 2.
Only dropped him 1 spot.
Only 1 spot.
Only scored
14 to 1 loss. I mean, I'll go more into Globo Jim in my hot topic, so I'm not going to discuss much right now. So we'll go
Hot
with that.
topic.
Yep.
Again, very boring power rankings for me. Staying at number 2 is me.
Yes.
Satisfactory win over Pine Tree Lane. Like I said, the categories were closer. I still won 95.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep.
Well, my number 2 is now Team D. Team Lee has dropped from 1 to 2. And honestly, the biggest reason why this happened is Mike Trout. That's the biggest reason why
But
I
I
dropped it
won.
from 1 to 2. Yes.
But I won the matchup.
I understand that. But in the power rankings, I can look at the team and say, wait a minute, he might not have his best player for the next 8 weeks. And that is a big deal.
Correct. And not to get into the hot topic, but you are not considering, I told you there are 3 aspects you should consider when you're doing your power rankings.
Okay.
Schedule,
Yeah.
the team makeup,
Yeah.
the GMing.
Right. And like I said, I still think you're the most balanced team, but I think as of right now, because that's all you can do is right now, today, you don't have your best player, and that can drop you down to number 2. That's just the way I look at it.
I don't have the best player.
The best player. That's right.
So then number 1, here we go.
Oh yeah. And honestly, here's the biggest thing about it. I'm 4.5 up on you and 13.5 up on everybody else. So I mean, come on. That's that separation. I should be number one, right? Right?
I just had you number 1 because you won and you were number 1 last week.
Oh, that's the only reason. So you don't.
Well, no, because I don't give you credit for your win because, again, you beat a guy I said wasn't good to begin with.
But he's number 4 on your power rankings. He's at least the 4th best team per you.
But you just said that everyone below number 2 sucks.
Well, no. No, I don't mean that. Okay, there's 2 different separations. There's a top 2 separation. There's a top 4 separation, kind of. Although Ben's champions is kind of sneaking into that. It's almost like a 5, I think. We'll see.
His strategy is working.
Well, he's won 2 weeks in a row now.
Woo!
Yeah. So, okay. So
very
now,
boring power rankings.
Well, boring power rankings, but I mean, I think as the season progresses, they're just going to get more and more boring because they're not going to change that much. You wouldn't think.
We'd like them to, though.
We would like them to, and that's why you should stay tuned for the hot topic because that's what we're going to discuss coming up. Hot topic. Okay, so now it is time for the hot topic. Boy, that was scary. You're going to have nightmares with that. A Russian GM coming up at you.
Well, I'm from Russia. Communism. Number 1.
That is the greatest Russian accent I've ever heard. All right. So my hot topic is going to consist of roster management. Roster management.
That's a different hot topic.
That's a different one. Yes. My first GM that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Murderers Row here. Okay. Now you have the numbers in front of you, so I don't want to go ahead. You read the numbers off, and then I will add.
What numbers would you like?
His roster total right now is at.
Officially, it's at 26. He has 26 active players on his 28-man roster.
Okay, and then who are the other 2 players that is consisting of 27 and 28?
He has Jesse Winker, who is a farm guy who he already owns, taking up 1 roster spot.
Yes, that is correct.
And now this one, stay with me. He has Aaron Sanchez, who's DL'd, but he already has 4 DLs being used.
Okay.
So you can say, well, no, he can't do anything with him.
Right.
Wrong. He has Alex Reyes, another farm guy that he already owns and doesn't have to have on his roster, using up another DL spot.
Right.
So if he drops Alex Reyes, no one else can have him. Mm-hmm. He could move Aaron Sanchez to the DL and pick up 2 more guys.
And I'm going to take this a step further because Pedroia just was put on the DL today.
Correct.
So actually, there was a period of at least a few days last week, and I assume it was more than that, where he wasn't using all 4 of his DL slots because Pedroia was not on the DL.
Yes, he was only using 3 DL spots.
Right. So, to try to get to the point of all this, I know that Murderers Row's concerns was about the farm system and about why he didn't like it and he didn't want to use it and he wanted to boycott it and everything like that.
Yeah, and he is, for the most part.
He is, but he's hurting himself by doing this because he's just coming off a win. He just had a win now. Mm-hmm. And if you actually look at the way the standings are constructed, he's not that far out of the playoffs.
No, from the 6th spot, no.
No, he's not that far out of the 6th spot. So fill up your roster, Murderers Row. That's all we're saying. To try to make your team better, fill it up. Have active players.
I mean, that's what he's saying. When you're playing me, please keep it at 26. You can go lower. There's no rule that says you can't go lower.
Yes.
So when you're playing me,
I get what he's saying, but overall, it's hard for me to see the complaints about, well, I can't compete because I'm not using the farm system. You don't have to use the farm system. That's fine, but you got to fill up your roster. That's what you do have to do. You're not going to come.
No, he doesn't. It's his team. He can run it the way he wants.
That's fine, but then don't complain later on when you're not winning because that's part of it. That brings us to our next person.
Victim.
Yeah, and that is 5 Swords. All right. Now, again, the roster should have 28
active players. Unless he's got a ton of DL guys.
So for at least 3 days, I believe.
He has 25 with 1 guy who's not active, but he's not prospect eligible, and that is Urias.
Yes.
So you're going to give a pass to.
Yes, I will give a pass to Urias. It is okay to have Urias on your team. I
Which
don't have an
means
issue with
he's
that.
at 25 active players.
Right. But you still have 3 more slots to pick up people who can do anything. It doesn't matter what they do. They would do something. They will fill up stats for you.
Not if he doesn't play them.
Well, yeah, that's true. If you don't put them in your active, if you don't put them in your starting lineup, they're not going to do anything for you. Whether it be pitchers or hitters or anything, they can do something for you. And you can't say that the free agent list is so barren that you can't find somebody to do something for you. Would you agree?
I would agree.
Yes.
You can find
He
someone in
agrees.
free agency that can do something for you.
Yes.
In that statement.
Yes, and even if you go 0 for 4, because I know this was a conversation that he and I had last year. Even if you go 0 for 4, if you walk one
Is that
time
the last time you talked to him?
on the phone, maybe that might have been the last phone conversation I've had. Well, I've texted him many times,
Yeah,
but
excellent.
last phone
Glad you
conversation.
guys are keeping in touch.
Anyway, even if your guy goes 0 for 4, because that's what he said. He's like, Jason, why would I play this guy if I know he's going to go 0 for 4? Because he might get a walk, and then your on base percentage goes up a little bit.
Or he could pick up somebody who he thinks isn't going to go 0 for 4 and play them.
That too. Yes, you can't just can't assume the guy's going to go 0 for 4. Counting stats are counting stats, and the more guys you have, and the more at bats you have, the better chance you have of winning singles, doubles, triples, home runs, stolen bases. Maybe that guy plays and gets a triple, even if he's a fat catcher. It can happen.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Kevin Garnett.
Yes. So that brings us to our
This
next.
brings you.
Oh, you don't have anything to say about him? You have nothing
About
to-
his roster
nothing?
management? No.
This brings us to Globo Gym, okay?
Globo.
Now, over the weekend, he and I had a matchup where it was actually 9-7 on Saturday. Do you remember
So close.
that? It was 9-7 on Saturday.
Again, I don't pay attention to other matchups.
Oh, don't you? It was legitimately 9-7. And it wasn't like during the day, in the middle of the day, it was 9-7. No. At the end of the day, 9-7 going into Sunday. All right? Now, Friday, he had an injury to Ian Kinsler. Ian Kinsler went down. All right? He did not pick up another second baseman. Now, at that time, he had Javier Baez as their backup second baseman and your backup shortstop. However, Owings didn't play on Sunday for him. So then he didn't have a shortstop. He didn't pick up an extra player to pick up that. So what happened is that he went into Sunday without a shortstop. And I don't see how you do that in a matchup that was as close as ours.
Maybe he didn't think he needed a shortstop to beat you.
Well, then he grossly misjudged, didn't he? I mean, if that's really what he thought, that's fine. But I just don't understand how you can't have a backup for it. And now, let's look at his roster now. Like, he didn't think Zimmer was good enough to be on his team, right? We've already discussed that. Now, literally minutes before we did this video, there was the Kipnis for Zimmer trade.
No.
No?
Kipnis for Gardner.
Kipnis...
I thought it was Kipnis for Gardner. That's who Chuck was asking about.
Oh, was it Gardner? I don't even know. Now we have to look it up.
Now we got a fact check. I didn't see anything. I've been babysitting.
Pending transactions? Pending trade between Globo Gym and Murderers Row is Kipnis for Gardner.
Yeah, he couldn't trade Zimmer because Zimmer wasn't on his
Oh.
roster.
Okay. That's not as bad of a trade then as I thought then. Like, that's okay. But now he's really short on an outfielder. So now but
Correct. Now he doesn't have an outfielder.
so he can play, yeah. He can't activate Zimmer because Zips actually claimed Zimmer and
He wasted a waiver claim.
Yeah.
By the way, he was mad. I did talk to Zips, Inside Info.
Yeah.
He was very mad once he found out that he wasted the number 5 waiver spot on a guy that was already owned.
Does make
And
sense.
quote unquote, this stupid system that you guys have set up was the quote.
Yeah.
Read the list.
Yeah,
He's on it.
I do believe it is a dumb list. But
It's very dumb. It's a very dumb list. It only shows who everybody owns in the entire league and what
Yeah.
prospects you can't
hold
pick
on,
up.
hold on. I'm not done on this
Oh my
yet.
gosh.
And then I'll get to you.
Thank you.
All right.
I will sit here patiently.
All right. But that said, now, Globo Gym decided that Zimmer was not good enough to make his lineup, which I completely disagree with. Because you Yes, you have 2 util slots and 3 outfield slots, so you've got 5 outfield.
But he has
places.
Donaldson.
Yes, he has Donaldson, and he also has Arenado. So those 2 guys, that takes up one of the util slots.
Correct.
But the other one can rotate. I know he's like, well, I can't bench Gardner. Well, first of all, Gardner should never start against lefties. Period. That shouldn't happen. So that you've got that going for you.
He doesn't
and
often play against lefties either.
That's you know what that's possibly true as well. Yeah, I'm not sure about every single day. I mean, I'm sure he has some at bats against lefties, but you know what? Maybe not because of Hicks. Yeah, he might not. And out here, is that how you say it? Out here.
Out here?
Out here. ALTHERR.
I thought it was author, but okay.
I don't know. It's funny. I mean, I watch a ton of baseball, but a lot of times I don't have the volume on because I'm jumping around to all the different games, so I don't know.
He
how
has
to
this
pronounce the
cool
names.
thing on his TV where he gets to watch 8 games at once, but he never actually watches one.
But either way, I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I don't think he needs to be in the lineup every day. I'm sure there's certain pitchers who you don't want him, like let's say he's going against the Nationals and Scherzer's pitching. Would you put him in the lineup? I wouldn't.
Is there many guys that you would play in the lineup against Scherzer? Would you still play Chris Bryant if you owned him against Scherzer?
Probably.
Okay, well, how about this? Let's go
Probably.
against one of your better hitters.
Okay.
Would you play Lindor against Scherzer?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, switch hitter. It doesn't count.
Yeah.
It doesn't count.
Right.
Chris Davis.
No. Chris Davis, I wouldn't. I mean, possibly even Duvall, and Duvall's a lot better counting stats wise than Davis.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'd have Duvall in there.
Interesting.
Again, it just depends on the matchup and who everybody else has, because it's you take the best of what you've got. Is kind of how it works. You can't. Some days you have like 6 bad matchups, and you just have to throw some bad matchups out there. But either way, what I'm trying to say is that Zimmer is definitely good enough to be on his team, and now he is because he's going to trade Gardner away. But I don't like the fact that he was sort of crying that my team isn't playing good and wow, what was me all weekend. When all he had to do was make a couple extra moves, and he would have picked up a couple stats, and he would have. I mean, look, he still would have lost. But
Of course.
Hey.
I mean, he was playing the Bear Bashers.
hey, it's a big deal though at the end of the year, especially for
Yes,
second and third.
14-1 is a big
Yeah.
loss.
Yeah, I mean-
it's okay to lose.
Yeah.
It's okay to lose, but again, though, in his defense,
You could have lost 11-4 instead of 14-1. That's a big difference.
But in his defense, the standings are getting worse, so he can afford that. Technically.
Yeah, but I mean, it's very important. I think the most important thing of this league, if you're not going to win the championship, is to try to get to the 2 seed so you get that first round bye. Right? You don't think it's a big deal? You just made that face like it's not that big a deal. I think
I
it's
don't
a
know.
huge
I was
deal.
a 2 seed last year and lost.
Well, yeah, but at least you have one less matchup you have to win to get to the
agree.
championship.
I agree.
So
Less
that's where you
matchups
wanna
is
be.
better. Less
Right.
matchups is
so you
better.
got to be in the top 2. I think it's very, very important. I mean, I'm not saying you have to be because I know, in the history of our league, 6 seeds have been very successful, right?
The 6-3 matchup, you do not want to be the 3 seed.
Yeah.
Which is why Globo Gym tanked their matchup last year at the end of the year to get out of the 3 seed to play a better matchup, who turned out to be the
I don't remember.
champion, Team Joe Bill.
Oh, Team Joe
Who he
Bill.
wanted to fly in
Who
round
he
one.
wanted to play. Yeah.
It's also quite possibly why Globo Gym does not have a career playoff win,
Yeah.
but neither does Alaska Glaciers.
Yep. The brothers Warner continue their playoff drought.
But neither does Five Swords. How about that? We have 3 teams in our league
Wow. Yeah, it's true.
that have
Five
never
Stars
won a
does not.
playoff matchup.
Yeah. That is 30% of the league. I did that math.
It's a very, very shallow league apparently we're in. Do you have any more about rosters for your hot topic?
No more rosters. I did thought we could just.
Go ahead.
No, I thought we would just sort of briefly talk about the minor league system a little bit.
Well, yeah, I will get to that. I do want to go back one more thing about rosters.
Oh, okay.
I will tell you this, as the few times, because I actually spend less time now looking at other people's rosters, I would say that as a league, I notice a lot of different forms of strategy and roster construction, and I think that's great.
Yeah, I agree.
So I like seeing that.
Yeah.
Just some things that people need to fix because it doesn't make sense, but...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't. It's okay to say that I want to run my team a certain way, but you can't give a reason to say I want to have 25 guys and not 28. That doesn't
Doesn't make any
work.
sense.
Yeah, there's no good reason for that.
Okay, so I'll let you lead off with the second part of the hot topic, which is...
Well, it's been a very hot topic on our text thread of
Great.
the minor league system and the way it's constructed and how it's not working.
Again, I will state, it's not that the system's not working, it's the people that are using it that aren't working.
And I will go as far to agree with you that is the case. But if it seems apparent that the league is not able to follow the guidelines, then shouldn't there be a change in the future?
Follow the guidelines.
Yes.
Okay, can you give me the guidelines?
That
Plural.
You see a player, you see John Smith on the free agent list, and you're like, John Smith's name isn't familiar to me. I wonder if he's on the free agent list. But, I'm in a hurry, and I don't think about looking at the list to see if he is a minor leaguer, and I add John Smith. Now, Team V owned John Smith. He doesn't get John Smith now. He doesn't have him for a day because he has to clear waivers because he has to remove him from my roster. Because
Well, that's not
he
an
was a minor
entirely
league
true statement.
Why?
If you picked up John Smith as a free agent and I drop him, he goes back into free agency. Right, but not as a waiver, as a regular free agent pickup.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
If you would have waiver claimed John Smith
Yeah.
and wasted a waiver on him, then yes, unfortunately,
I see.
if I cut John Smith from such and such team because he's owned, he's going to go back on the waivers, which did happen. And again, I'm only going to ask you one question. I will agree that the system is not working if you can give me one other flaw with the system other than people won't look at the list.
I mean...
Give me another reason why it's not working other than people won't look at the list.
Okay. I would also say that there should be some sort of addition or... I don't know if it's a rule change or something to do with those NA players who are in the 4A category. And when I say 4A category, I'm talking about guys like Urias, guys who have now used up their minor league eligibility.
Right.
But now Five Swords has to use a roster slot on
I agree.
Urias. I don't like that. I get your issue with it because you think that there's guys who've been in the league for like 3 years. Like a Grichuk, actually, because that's a similar guy.
Correct.
I think Grichuk at this point, dude, you've played way too much. If you shouldn't be the kind of guy that gets to be on an NA list and be kept on a roster. If you're not good enough, you're not good enough. Then we're just gonna put you on free agent list. And
May I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay. Prior to Yahoo giving us this flawed NA spots on our rosters,
Yeah.
if you wanted Julio Urias on your roster,
Yeah.
what would you have to do to have him?
Well, in previous, I would have to own him as an NA player.
No.
That's not what you're asking.
Before the NA system, before
the NA system?
Before NAs.
You'd have to waste a roster spot on him and just wait until he got called up. That's the only way you could have him on your team.
Interesting. So it's exactly the same as it was before.
Yeah, it's exactly the way it was before in 2011 or whatever, before we started the NA system.
Correct.
So that's not better, though. That's what I'm saying. I mean, the NA system is better than 2011, yes. You don't think so? You really don't believe it is?
No.
You think it's better for guys to have to waste roster spots on these NA guys if they didn't have them before? I don't agree with that at all.
Yes and no. I do feel the pain of having to roster Jose Barrios or Julio Urias or whatever, but again, that makes it a roster decision.
Yeah.
Not a forced decision, a roster decision. And that's what I've been trying to do because people complain they want to be able to make their own decisions.
Yeah.
You can make that decision.
Yeah.
Okay? The opposite would be is if I have an NA guy and I don't want to play him yet because I don't know if he's going to be good. Tyler Glasnow.
Yeah.
And I should have that option. I should be able to choose.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't like the way the system's formatted anyway, because just like a Tyler Glasnow or a Sense Delay or whatever,
who you took advantage of, by the way. How many times did you actually play him?
Apparently just once is what you're saying, because I don't even remember.
Right.
I had to look that up.
Out of 5 or 6 starts, you started him
I started
once,
him one time.
and he was awful the rest of his starts, correct?
Yeah, but I didn't even play him, right? Because I only played him for one actual start.
Correct, because you had that option.
Yes, I understand.
Under the old system, he would have had to have been on your... Hold on. So under the old system, he still would have been on your roster.
Right.
So you would have had to have wasted a roster spot on a guy you weren't even playing.
Well, yeah, but you're still wasting a roster spot, Matt. That's what you're not understanding.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what you don't understand. It's the same thing. You're still wasting a roster spot.
Because let's go to Ben's champions. Okay. Ben's champions had Senzel Zela, and just like he said, he was 6-1 before he even got to those 40 innings.
Correct.
You know,
50, but yes.
I'm sorry, yeah, 50. So.
And how many times did he play him?
Probably like twice, maybe.
I don't
know.
think he picked him up once.
Really?
To use.
Whatever the case is, I mean, he could have, in theory, basically spot started him every 5th day,
Right.
dropped him, picked up somebody else for a couple days, used that roster spot to pick him up again.
Correct.
And that's what I don't like, because basically it's just extending your roster even more. Like, why do you want to do that?
Because it's not for free.
It's not. Yeah, you're right. It's not for free because you're dropping your 28th best player.
And it's costing you a transaction every time
Yes,
you do it too.
it's costing you a transaction.
That's the way I look at it. What are the pluses and the minuses of doing each thing?
Well, like I said, the biggest minus is that he's still listed on the free agent list.
I
And
agree.
that same guy was
agree.
involved in 6 or 7 different transactions of mess ups.
Correct. Because why?
You know?
Because why?
Because people aren't following the rules.
No, because they're not reading the list. Okay,
Well,
so I
yeah, but
I
it's not
said,
just
but I
reading the
said to
list.
give me an example where that's not the reason why the system isn't working.
But even, okay, I'll even go as far to say, okay, Matt, you're right. That's the only example I need. Because if the people can't do it or they don't want to do it, whichever the case is, it's not working. That's all I can tell you.
Okay, but that's my argument. If people are just saying, I'm not going to do it no matter what, and I'm just going to keep doing this, then how can you say the system's not working if people are making a conscious choice not to do it? Is it really giving it a fair chance? That's all I'm saying.
No,
people are not giving it a fair
Maybe
chance.
you're right.
They automatically say they don't like it, so therefore they don't even look at it. Every time that someone picks up someone that they shouldn't have, the very first thing I say to them, did you look at the list? What's the answer I get? No. So if people aren't even going to attempt to do it, then why should I just say, oh, it's not working? No, it's not working because people don't want it to work.
Well, that's,
People don't want it to work.
and again, maybe you're right, but what you need to understand is that all of us are creatures of habit. We want to do it a certain way, and we want to go to that list. And when I say list, I mean the free agent list. We want to see the guy we want. We want to pick up that guy. We don't have
I
to
agree.
think about it. We don't want to look at a list.
I understand
That's and again, this isn't even me because I haven't even done any of this. I haven't done any of these mistakes. But I'm just saying,
He's perfect.
No, I'm far from perfect, but I just hasn't, it hasn't applied because I just, I'm not.
Okay, so what you're saying is every time you go to pick up a free agent, the only thing you do is look at who's available and then hit the add button.
Well, me, no. But I'm telling
I'm
you.
asking you. I'm asking you. Is that the only thing you do?
Absolutely not. That's not what I do, but I believe.
So you're just saying people just go to the free agent list
Yes.
and they just look at a name.
Yes.
They don't click anything
Nope.
else.
I'm telling you, half the league does that.
No way. Half?
Half.
I would take that bet in a heartbeat.
Nope, I bet you half does.
They just look at the free agent list and say, this guy's at the top. And that's what I want.
No. You know what? They do one other thing. They'll click on the little yellow note beside his name, and then they'll look at the stuff on that note and say what someone else says. Basically, someone else says, player, I'm going to go with John Smith again. John Smith has been great over the last 2 weeks. He's hitting at this and has an OPS of this, and he should be owned in 12-team mixed leagues. And then he's picked up. That's all that they do. Like they don't do more. So I think some of them don't do more than that. Yes.
Correct. So they are actually clicking and looking at something else.
Yeah. I would say so. They were at least doing that much. Yes.
Okay.
But
We'll agree to disagree. And the only reason that some people are calling for a drastic change, and I'm not going to do it, is I want to see how it plays out in August and September, which is what part of this was created for.
I get it, but it's going to be way worse. That's why I'm not looking forward to it at all.
We'll see.
Because I think there's going to be a lot more call-ups. Because actually right now is the downtime. This is when we shouldn't be having mistakes because we're in between all the call-ups. Because the call-ups are going to happen at the trade deadline. Once teams start trading away and they get guys, then it's going to be a lot different. So,
well, hopefully that will change, and we'll see what happens. Again, until something drastic happens where people aren't doing something other than just simply not reading the list, to me, I think it's being sabotaged, and that's the way I'm going to look at it right now. Is people were purposely doing stuff to say that it doesn't work. And until I get anything else that happens that isn't a result of someone simply taking 30 seconds and pulling up a list and looking at it, then I'll change my mind. What is so important?
The fans
Okay, it's fine. It's not a big deal.
She's supposed to be here?
It's okay. You can let her in.
good.
Do you know who she is? She's
Yeah.
a stranger.
Yep.
She's a stranger?
Yep.
Go let her in.
She's a stranger.
Go let her in. Danger stranger. She's not a stranger.
so is she just sitting up there not getting in the house?
I don't know.
Let her in.
Hi.
She's in the house. We're good. All right. Well, I think that pretty much sums up our.
Yes.
our
So
thing.
yes, people out there,
Mhm.
keep sabotaging it.
Walk up to the park with this?
Keep sabotaging it. Keep deliberately not looking at the list, because that's what I'm calling it now from now on.
The list.
Is sabotaging the list. By the way, Blacklist, that's a good show.
I heard it's a good show. I just never had time to watch it. But
It's good. It's good.
okay. Well, I think that's it for our hot topics. Now, and feel free to actually respond to the hot topics. Don't get offended. Don't get upset that we're calling you out. We were just
It's not calling you out. We're just asking
Hey,
questions.
I'll be honest. The reason why I'm calling you out, I have a different opinion on him because he apparently wants
You
to
have a
win.
different opinion on me?
A different opinion than him
Oh.
because he essentially says, please, when you play me, do these dumb things. I don't want you to do those dumb things because the way I look at it is I want you to beat everybody else. I want you to win. I'm cheering for you guys now. I'm cheering for all of you because I want you to beat guys like him. Because I'm in a position to win right now and I need all the help I can get. So give me the help. Give me the help. Beat this guy. Do it now.
I'm not
Make your
even
team
good.
better.
All my guys are hurt.
Hey, that's more reason for you to play right now. Get fired up. Get your guys. Have team meetings. Talk to them. Say, listen, we are playing Team V and we need a big win this week out of you. Maybe they'll play better.
So you don't really want them to be successful. You just want them to be successful against other people.
Well, yeah, certain people. Yeah. I would say you. I would say Globo Joe. I would say Team Joe Boo. I would say Ben's Champions. I would say Alaska Glaciers.
Hater.
But when you guys play each other, it's whatever. Flip a coin. I don't care what you guys do. But
All right.
yeah.
Sounds good. Good luck.
All right. See you next week.
Oh, Mother Russia.
See you later. Bye.
Mom.